Hello, captains. This is Kent again, and welcome to the flight show. This is an exciting time for me. This is my first filmed flight utilizing PMDG's 747 Queen of the Sky, which has been newly updated to run in Prepar3D version 5. So which is ironic because this is my all-time favorite commercial aircraft to fly. So how appropriate. And because this is so special to me, I am taking off from two of my, or should I say I'm flying between two of my favorite airports that are payware. They're not the favorite, but they are one of my most favorites. And this is Frankfurt, Germany by Aerosoft, and we'll be flying to O'Hare Airport by FS Dreamteam. So I guess the best thing we can do is jump in here and get started. Alright, so let's do this. So the first thing we need to do is just bring up my I'm moving this to a screen that's below the screen that you are actually seeing, and I'm bringing up all of my flight information. Where's my flight plan folder? Here we go. Alright, so we're going to go on and do this darn thing, and we start with batteries on. Okay, so batteries are on. Standby power is on auto. Hydraulic pumps, they are off. Windshield wipers are off, and the alternate flap selector is off. Landing gear is down. And establish electrical connection, which we will do right now. And the nav lights, are on. Gotta let them know we're in the cockpit. Alright. So, safety inspection, power isolation switches normal. ELT armed, battery on, auto standby power on, demand pumps off, fuel crossfeed 1 and 4 off. Go all the way up here. Alternate flaps off, landing gear lever down, flap levers agree, and APU power has been established, except we are using the GPU. Now, in our first officers has a bunch of procedures, so we got to do that. Let's just be quick about it because we got a lot to do. I don't have FS crew today. EC switches normal, utility power switches, bus tie auto, general switches on, engine hydro pumps on. Emergency lights are armed. Emergency lights. I always look forward like I'm looking at a 737. Okay. Inner service phone is off. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Get back down here. Fuel transfer switches 1 and 4 off. Engine fire switches off. APU fire switch in. Cargo armed. Engine start switches in. Standby ignition normal. Continuous ignition off. Auto ignition single. Auto start switches on. Jet fuel jettison nozzle valve switches off. Air fuel crossfeed switches are on. Air fuel pump off. Engine wing ice, we're not using that, so it's auto. Model 8 is auto, of course, and it is auto. Yeah, all of them right there. Passenger oxygen system guarded closed. Yaw dampers are on. Look up here. Yep, there we are. Yaw dampers. Boom. That's good. Pressurization panel. Packs and flight temperature auto. Trim air on. Yeah, that's the 400 variant. Aft cargo on. Equipment cooling selector norm. High flow switch off, which it is right there. Packs on if air conditioning not attached. Isolation bleed valves on. APU bleed on. Lighting panel set. Status display switches set. Borrow. Boom, I just did that. Check pages, CDU pages. Alright. Auto brakes. Oxygen. RTO, by the way. Okay. It's on the screen that you don't see. I have, 3 abreast. I've mentioned that before. Checked auto stage. Set Q in H. Boom. Gear and terrain. Override off. And EIU. Selector auto. Heading magnetic. Now me as captain, that was my first officer, which I don't have sitting next to me. ATIS obtain. Let's say that we have takeoff data card. Yep. Tech log check. In refueling. If refueling, set doors 5 to auto. EVIS panel set. Flight directors. Both have to put them both on. Auto throttle is on. It's already on. Good. Auto bank sent to auto. Yep, it is. Speed brake lever is down. Indeed it is. Fuel control switches are cut off, and they are. Auto panel is set. No smoking sign on. There is no smoking sign because now everybody knows there's no smoking on airplanes. Seat belt sign on. I just did that. Transponder to set. Oxygen test. If we must. Instrument panel set. Altimeter set and cross-check. Standby altimeter. Set Q and H. Q and load. CDU load data. Time to rock and freaking roll. Alright, so fuel. We're supposed to be putting on here 239,515 pounds of fuel. Boom. Now we also have our payload, which is going to be 6. Our zero fuel weight is going to be 600.7. It's going to be a heavy baby. Heavy baby. Alright, that's all we need to do here. Now we're going to jump up here. So let's start getting this in. EDDF. That is where we are departing from. Now, by the way, because I keep overlooking it, but we need to get you on nav. Alright. Lost my train of thought. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Boom. Alright, so now we can load that. Now let's load our flight plan. So we're going to be EDDF to KORD. And that's our flight plan. That's 1. Boom. And we are Delta Airlines 36. Now, departing. We will depart on runway 7 center. And our SID is Marua 5 route. And then we will also do, because when we get to Chicago, unless the weather changes, but our forecast says it will not, landing on 28 right. And we will be landing on windy 28 with our transition SSM. Okay, route. Activate. Zero fuel weight, 600.7. Our flight level is kind of low. I was a little surprised by this, but it's going to be 24,000 feet. And we have a flight index of 40. That's what we calculated, and we will do a reserve of 5,000 pounds. D-rated takeoff. Center of gravity. And flaps 10. You know, I totally forgot to let the GSX load the aircraft, but since we've got places to go and things to do, we'll just, let that one particular item go. But then I think you're saying, oh, come on, we want to see it. So we can always edit it so we're not taking up too much time. You ask, and I shall receive. I mean, you shall receive. How egotistical. Oh my gosh. Alright, so jetways operate. While the jetways are coming over, How can we miss out on these graphics? That is why you tune in. You want to see these things working in symphony with one another. And as a matter of fact, so do I. Alright, oh, we did have the air conditioning on under there. Hey, what do I know? Alright, so let's do boarding, request boarding. Alright, you guys do what you do. Oh yes, now we have to open door 1. Return doors. Do not ask me how I messed that up. Open. And then these are already open. Excellent. So we're good there. So let's see. Now we're got all of that. So I'll give y'all a little view of now they are heading out and some new baggage will be coming in, so I'll bring you back as soon as they're here. Okay, my grounds crew. My baggage is ready to get this on the airplane, so it will not be long now. I think since we do not have FS crew, we should take this time to talk to the passengers ourselves. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain. My name is Kent Wallace, and I will be your captain for this flight between Frankfurt, Germany, and Chicago, Illinois, O'Hare Airport. I really want to thank you for tuning in, and if you need anything, just remember that our flight crew is here to make your flight just as enjoyable as possible, so please contact them to ask them any questions that you might have to help you enjoy your flight experience. We realize you have a number of couriers that you could choose because there are these guys over here called Lufthansa that has a plane just like ours, except, well, you know, theirs is a 400 and ours is a Dash 8. But still, you could have chosen them to fly to America, but you chose us, and we really appreciate that. So thank you for flying Delta. We will prepare to be leaving in just a few moments. You think they felt that it was heartfelt? I hope so, because it came from the heart. Alright, so I will bring you back as soon as they get that cargo on the airplane so that we can be on our way. Yeah, they are working hard. But I think I will take this time to say how much I really, really appreciate you all supporting the channel. We are now at 2,180 subscribers. I think I've had 100 subscribers just in this week alone, and I cannot even tell you how much I appreciate that. And, you know, as you can tell, I try to respond to every single person that comments on my page, on my channel, regardless of whether it is positive or negative feedback. I try not to respond negatively. I take, even when it stings, all criticisms and suggestions seriously. I want to thank Mr. Prestige for, you know, befriending me here on the flight show and talking with you. And I don't want to just single one person out because there are quite a few of you. Like, oh my gosh, it's because I want to say his name that it is escaping me. But I tell you what, I am going to pull it up so that I can say it, because there are some of you all that have regular conversations with me on the channel, and I don't want you to ever think that I don't appreciate that and the support that you have given. So I'm just having like a brain freeze moment, so I apologize, but I'm going to get that name and I'm going to say it to you. I'm just pulling it up. And there are just so many of you. So forgive me if it escapes me, because I'm just keeping an eye on things so we can get out of here and flying. But, oh gosh, it's coming. It's coming. I want to give that name. I want to give that name. There are several names, but this one particular, because he has been, like, dedicatedly conversational with me for as far as I can remember, at least since last year, and I think even before that. So I just want to give the due and why the name is escaped. Marcus, and I didn't even find it yet, but I believe it is Marcus, and I'm going to confirm that just as soon as yep, Marcus Manula. Actually, he did give you the enunciation, so I hope I remembered it. Short-term memory, terrible. But nevertheless, I want to say a shout out to you, Mr. Prestige, Flight Sim 69, United. United Airline. I forget how the full name, but I know it's United because he has the United symbol in it. I know he's always checking me out. There were some people who just recently who have been saying that they've been watching my videos, and so to everybody, I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you. Really appreciate it. This is it's rough. I live alone, and as you may know, I'm a physics professor, and I had to move in the middle of the semester, teaching full-time professor to teaching everything online and getting that actually switched over in a week, finishing out the semester, doing all of my meetings with the university, with NASA, all of this video conferencing. It's been challenging and solitary. So this has really been my release, my enjoyment, and the dialogue with you it has been very conversational, and the excitement over the release of Prepar3D V5 has really made this challenging time bearable. And so that's another reason I wanted to take this opportunity to express that, I don't take it for granted. All right, so that I don't continue to ramble on of my appreciation of you, though I'm sure all of you are like, yes, please go on. Oh, no, do go on. I'll bring you back as soon as these last bags are brought on the airplane, and we will be ready for pushback. Okay, so the last of our stuff is getting put on, so I was going to use this opportunity as I do our before start checklist, or our before start procedures, just to let you know everything that's going on. Actually, I can't because I'm going to be talking while I do this. Verify doors are closed. Can't. Oh, so I got a second because I can't close the doors until he's done with what he's doing. So let's see here. Let me look over here, make sure I got you in my sights. Okay. So I wanted to say what we got going on here. So from a previous video, you may realize that we are using FS Global. We have land class. This is all by Orbx that I'm saying it first. We have FS Global. We have land class by for Europe Orbx. We have land class North America by Orbx. We're using the PMDG 747-8 variant. We're using GSX, but we also will be using Ultimate Ground Crew. I like to talk to it. I really do miss my FS crew. I'll be glad when they release it for the 747. Heck, I should check online. They may actually be offering it right now. But I digress. So, continuing on. Very nice. Doors are closing on time. See, now these doors on the side, that's something with GSX. It's opening all the doors. And I don't know why. But I'm going to close them, because by the time we push back, they actually start to work right. But up until then, it is weird as for all get out. All right, so we're going to operate the jetways, have them push back. There they go. Those are closing. All right, time to turn on the APU so that we can disconnect the ground. But anyway, ask if the captain is cleared to pressurize the hydraulics. Okay. I'm reading the first officers because you know what? I don't have one, so I have to. Is it clear to pressurize the hydraulics? So I would say cockpit to ground. Can we pressurize the hydraulics? And they would tell me yes. So these auxiliary. Okay. If the air start cart is attached, packs are off, but we are going to detach those bad boys in just a second. As soon as our APU is going, of which now it is, so we can go to our ground connections and remove all of that. And so hence we will turn our packs. Let's see. We will turn 2 and 3 off. Fuel panel. Is set. And beacon status is both. We need to turn on our engine heat, so we're going to do that, and we'll get this party started. So now we should expect to see, there we are.
Go ahead, Cockpit.
You just come on over here and do what you need to do. He is walking up. Check out all this going on around us. It's just a full immersive world going on while we're getting ready to go, and that's why I love traffic.
Ground flight deck.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start facing south. I'm gonna get those damn doors. We are ready for pushback. Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, Cockpit.
We are ready for pushback and engine start facing south. We are ready for pushback and engine start facing south. I have no idea why they're not responding. I believe everything.
Please confirm that the brakes are set.
Brakes are set. Brakes
Go
are
ahead, flight deck.
Brakes are set. Brakes are set.
Thanks.
Now he's ready to do his thing. Little glitchy here. We'll get it together. What? Are they pulling back too? Alright, we'll wait for them. I think I remember what to say here. Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, Cockpit.
We'll be ready in a few minutes.
Go ahead, Cockpit.
We'll be ready in a few minutes. That wasn't it, so I'm not going to even try to remember. Now I have that script, but it's in a completely another book, and by the time I find it, it'll be time for us to back up. Come on, get out of the way. I mean, I could ignore it, but we're going to try to at least be somewhat procedural.
Go ahead, flight deck.
If them doors don't get it together.
Go ahead, Cockpit.
Wait for it. See, I was making fun of them and they're holding us up. How about that? I tell you, karma. Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, Cockpit.
We are ready for pushback and engine start facing south. We are ready for pushback and engine start facing south.
Understood. Facing south. Release the brakes, please.
Brakes released. Sorry, GSX.
Okay, commencing pushback.
Excellent. Start sequence will be 4 and 3, then 2 and 1.
All ground equipment is clear. You can start the engines at your discretion.
Thank you. Start 4 and 3. I will be glad when Black Box releases their, I think it's their, like, version 0.9 or 1.9, because I really want to fly that Airbus 340.
Go ahead, flight deck.
Nothing. Do you think?
Go ahead, flight deck.
Starting 2 and 1. Come on.
Go ahead, cockpit.
Alright, they're bringing us around. I don't know if I messed something up, but I imagine that nose gear is supposed to turn with that thing, but maybe it's just me. Leave a comment if you know that there's a switch that I have neglected to turn on or something like that.
Go ahead, flight deck.
Okay, started, so
The push is complete. Please set the brakes.
brakes are set.
Understood.
He is not standing in the right spot. Brakes are set. Just wondering why he's waiting there. You are free to disconnect and go to hand signals. Okay, I tried to do this earlier and I had the same problem, so guess what? We're just gonna kill that because I don't know what was going on there. Alright. We're just gonna go ahead and do our controls. Can't see them from here. Is that it? There we go. Okay. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudders. Full left. Neutral. Full right. Okay, so after start checklist, APU off, demand pumps auto. Wait, did we? No. Off, demand pumps auto. Anti-ice if needed. No, we don't have it on. After cargo heat on. Other variant. Packs normal. Checks recall checked, and ground equipment is cleared. QARA on. That's the AMCs. So we now will taxi. Clear on the left. Clear right. I feel so alone without my FS crew. The guy in this cockpit only talks to me to give me the first V speed. That's alright. Patience. Now, I want to tell you, if there is anything that is immediate that you will notice, the ground physics feel different. The plane is not as nimble as it was before, so it really gives you this feeling like you are trying to control something massive. And I don't really know how to articulate it any better that it is noticeable of how it handled before this update and how it handles now. The ground physics is different. And it just really gives you this subtle feeling that you're controlling something very, very big. And I find that fascinating and very enjoyable, I might add. You just can't whip it around the corner. 12 to 15 knots, you are going to need to drop it down to 9 or 10. Now, I have been trying to do this flight since this morning, but for various reasons I've had to stop recording, just from my own personal messing up to, you know, you do it enough times, you really need to reboot the computer so that you can get rid of stutters. It was just all kinds of stuff. But I think this is going to be it. I think we're doing good so far. Plus, after doing it enough, I've made much fewer mistakes, and hence we are on our way. But yeah, I can tell you, I am really enjoying this update. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I cheated. I found out the way that you can put the PMDG aircraft in before they made the installers. Because if you want to fly a commercial aircraft, there are none available that are dedicatedly for Prepar3D. They say you can copy over the Airbus 330, and I did, and it worked until they released that big old update, and then it would crash the computer every time I tried to fly it. So hence, just to have some study level aircraft that is ready to rock with Prepar3D to me is a rare treat. And the others are coming subsequently. So just, you know, fly what you got, it's coming. Alright, down to 25 knots because we were getting a little fast on the ground speed. Alright, I will bring you when we are at the line for hold. But rather, I thought I'd bring you back so you could get a feel of some of these visuals, because this airport is incredible. Now, what you're seeing, and what I have to remember, that you're seeing one screen, whereas I'm looking at three, so there are things I want to tell you, like, oh, look at that, and it's like, oh yeah, that's not the screen that they can see. It's really immersive when I use the three screens, and Prepar3D's new, using the DirectX 12, it's handling it. I'm not losing performance because it's on three monitors. It's just a thing of beauty. One of the reasons I've just been so excited about doing this flight today, which is why I can mess it up 6 times and I'm still doing it again, because it's a little frustrating, but I'm still enjoying it. And besides, it was Saturday. This was my day. I needed a rest. I needed to engage in some Kent stuff, and that would be this. So I'm quite happy indeed. Okay, we're almost there. So this is where tower would be switched to tower. So we'll just say that we did, and we'll get ready for our before takeoff procedure. Weather radar is now on, and terrain as desired. And traffic ID is on. Now for the pilot monitoring, which would be my first officer. Strobes, put them on. Inboard landing lights on. Terrain is on. APU packs takeoff 1 and 3. All packs are on because we're not using APU. Alright, let's slow this puppy down because we're getting ready to make a pretty hard turn. Before takeoff checklists, we'll wait till we get to the line. Alright, lights and strobes on. Radar, WX radar terrain on. Or set, rather. Alright, we're going to say that they gave us clearance. Clear on the approach. We are cleared for takeoff. Toga. Takeoff. How embarrassing. Did not do the flaps, which I really thought I did, but it's because I've been doing this flight so many times in succession and messing up, it was in my mind that I already did it. No excuse, but I really thought I put it on. I thought literally I put it on there when we finished Pushback, but we'll have it down in time. So that one's on me. My bad. Like it hasn't happened to you. All right. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. I love this view taking off. Do you see how smooth that was? It's absolutely beautiful. Flaps 5. By the way, we are using active sky, so this is real weather, so this is what would be going on right now. Bug. And we are over Frankfurt. You know, sometimes it doesn't take anything too fancy. When in stutters, reboot your computer. Especially if you've had it, going in and out of the game multiple times. Just start fresh. Just start fresh. Flaps up. Okay, captains, we are now at our top of descent, and we will now be descending into Chicago O'Hare. I have made a couple of adjustments to the navs because it's this one is a particular vector approach, but the vector takes us past O'Hare from the direction that we're coming respectively. So we're just going to say that we requested at ATC to allow us to go to a certain waypoint and then make a direct turn onto our final, which isn't completely unreasonable depending on how busy the pattern is. So, as you can see, we have an overcast, so this should make a really interesting approach as we descend in the clouds and come out on the bottom side of it. So I'm looking forward to doing this with you on my first flight in the PMDG design for Prepar3D V5. Exciting! Okay, so we have passed the top of the descent point. We have our altitude already put in. So the aircraft is slowing down, and as you can see, the engines have pulled back, and we should be starting our descent in a couple of seconds. So everything's looking good so far. Okay, and now we begin our descent. So there is our waypoint that we've adjusted. So we'll be going from patent to windy, and we need to add them. And the thing the waypoints that were erased were between Windy and Adam. So looking at it here on my electronic flight bag, you can see the adjustment. So at Windy, we will go straight to, yeah, see how it's taking us out that far, but then we'll just go straight to Adam. And like I said, well, just to pretend we, got the clearance from ATC to save a little time, a little distance, and a little fuel. Okay, so we need to go through our procedures here. So what we need to do is, now you see why I added this view. So now I can look at our VREF. I'll pull that up in just a second. Here we go. And still our VREF here, and it's going to be 146 knots. So now I can put that in just before touchdown. 146. Gotta find that button. Here we go. Excellent. I think we'll bring our speed down to 210, maybe 200, not much. That's not what I want. 220. Yeah, alright. Oh wow, I see the little wisps of cloud there on the top. It's looking good. Now I notice there's still some animation issues when you look at the plane going through the clouds. I think hopefully they'll have that fixed with an update. I saw that before they loaded Active Sky, so I think that's just a True Sky thing. I hope they get that worked out. Okay, we have our spoilers. That way we can kind of descend a little faster without having to sacrifice speed. I mean, when I say sacrifice speed, is that let me rephrase that. We don't have to have a descent too shallow so that we don't go too fast. We can go a little faster because we have our spoilers out, so we can descend faster. All right, quick weather change right there. I guess that was the update. I think I have this updating, the Active Sky updating weather every 5 minutes. But all right, we're in the thick of it. We're coming down over Lake Michigan. Yes. Been a long enough flight, isn't it? All the way from Frankfurt. Chasing the sun, because it stayed day the entire time. Alright. Turn off the empty tanks. What are you all's impressions of the True Sky? I really do like the True Sky. I'm using that option. I'm not flying with the traditional clouds. I really like this. And I can tell you that with the frame rates that we're getting, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot. But to get everything working right, but I have no reason to go back to 4.5. I still have it there because of folders that I'm still switching over. So it's been a good reference. But as far as the flying and the filming, it'll be in Prepar3D 5, definitely. Okay, so forgive me for a minute. I'm just looking at my electronic flight bag over here on the side. And I think I may have mentioned to you that I have the cockpit span across 3 monitors. I have a monitor below the center monitor, which is where I will sometimes export my instruments, because sometimes the distance is not easy to see, so I'll export them to the screen below the center screen. And then I have a screen for the electronic flight bag by Aerosoft. So there's a lot going on here. So forgive me that I'm just up in that, because I'm just checking navs and so forth. Really, it'll only be a second. But please leave in the comments, what do you think so far? I'm more curious of the people who have not upgraded yet, but you've been watching the videos and so forth. What are the things that are enticing you? What are the things that you are apprehensive about? I'd be very curious to know that. Okay, so there's the coastline, Chicago, Illinois, since we're leaving. We flew out of Michigan. Oh yeah. And there is the Chicago skyline. Alright, we will turn off time acceleration, because I was wondering, how did we get down so fast? And I realized, ooh, time acceleration was still on. But I only had it on 4, because when I had it on 16, like, literally the plane, like, went north, and I have no idea why. So I was like, okay, the fastest I'll run time acceleration for this is 4, and it worked well, so that's why I had it on that. I mean, there are times I do the flights in real time, but I really wanted to get this flight published, so I just bit the bullet and went ahead and used time acceleration, which honestly I really enjoy. But you know, when you're on VATSIM, gotta fly the whole thing, so just be prepared. For my inaugural flight with PMDG, I am glad that I actually chose O'Hare. When you think about Wiki's Chicago X, or 10, I'm not really sure which way they really intended that to be said. And then, you know, FS Dreamteam's Chicago O'Hare, which is a phenomenally detailed airport. I mean, let's just push it, you know what I'm saying? Highly advanced commercial aircraft pushing the envelope, the city scenery pushing the envelope, the weather engine pushing the envelope, because I think I have my clouds on maximum shadows and maximum distance for shadows. I mean, just throw it out there and let's just see if she can handle it. And thus far, she has, and I don't even have the fastest CPU that I was strongly considering of upgrading to the 990K, and I see that they have a 990Z with 10 core. Oh, in these financial times, it's, let's just say that I'm trying to be fiscally responsible and resist the temptation, but what helps is the fact that I'm running an 8700K i7, and as you can see, it has, and oh, the video card is an RTX 280 Ti. This system seems more than capable of handling these graphics as long as all your tweaks are, you know, optimized. And for this, what I'm also find very interesting, I did not have to adjust the config file at all. First time in the history of Prepared or Flight Simulator 10 Steam Edition that I didn't have to go into the config file. What I did need to do, though, is to manipulate the VSync. And I have it on in the simulator, and I have those frame rates on unlimited. And that has just really given me a performance that I have not experienced before. So I'm glad that it's not a whole lot of major tweaking that is necessary. I don't know if that was intentional by Lockheed Martin, or if it was an unintended consequence, but thank you. Now, if we can just get those textures to stay loaded so you don't turn, you know, go to a scene and then you're watching the textures load. I mean, I get you load textures and then to save RAM and so forth, you expel them. But it would seem to me that you would expel things that you've flown past a great distance away, not necessarily things that are right there. But then, of course, I don't You know, I'm not the coder, so there may be inherent performance issues with that, but I wish they would find a way to address it. You can edit it out of filming, but you do notice it in flying. Like here, see the scenery at a distance loading? You could have loaded that a lot earlier, and you could have dumped. I don't know where they dumped. Like when I was flying over Iceland, I don't know where they dumped what I passed. Probably like right away, because you know, dump the textures of the airplane. So when I change a view, they got to put it back in. So I don't know. I don't profess to know exactly how that works, and I'm sure that it's not an easy thing, or they would have done it. So, but on that list of things to do, I might move that up. All right, just kidding around. All right, so we are now. I'm turning on arming the localizer. You didn't see me do it on the screen because I'm doing it on the NPC that I have here in the cockpit, and I've also armed the approach. But it doesn't seem that the plane is descending at a rate. I may have to just take control, make it my aircraft, and descend a little bit faster. Now, once all those all the autogen scenery is loaded, I mean, that looks like what you would see flying over Chicago, densely populated housing and some trees here and there. But wow. I am in awe. Okay, we're a little above the glide slope, so we're going to take control and get this puppy down.
2500.
Now what I'm noticing is that the poppy lights are not changing color. And I've noticed that at a couple of airports that I've gone to, and I don't know if that's because of the extra scenery that I have loaded, or there's a glitch in the matrix. I don't know. But if anyone has noticed this, noticed the problem of the poppy lights just staying white, and you have a fix, and you know the source of what caused the problem, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I would be very curious to know so I can address that. Oh wow, look at that, flying over a golf course, I think. Alright, we are now on our final for runway 28 right. Dropping altitude, have to put out the speed brake so we don't get too fast. But this is fine. Okay, guiding a little to the left. We're going to bring it back to the right. And the part that I am so incredibly excited about is, you know, that telltale drop in frame rates as you're on your approach. A couple of stutters, but no, the frame rates are still up there. It's very smooth for what I can say. And you may have a little bit of a loss just for the fact that I'm screen capturing it. So you imagine if I'm not screen capturing, or like what I see is smoother rather than what has been recorded. Still kind of hashing that out, but I mean, as you can see, other than a couple of stutters, micro stutters rather, frame rates are good. And definitive improvement over to what I was getting in 4.5. That was just like the holy grail of my quest. And as you can see, I have road traffic enabled. And it's a pretty, I think I'm running 45% commercial aircraft with Ultimate Traffic Live. Alright, here we go.
50.
Alright, we'll pull back on the
30,
throttles.
20. 10.
Excellent. Touchdown. Armed with reversers. Reversers are normal. I hate that. Textures loading and stuff. Now, I think there is like literally an airplane crash at the end of runway 28. Like, I don't know whose scenery that is because I never noticed it until recently. Alright, we just have to find a gate that we're going to go to. So we'll get that squared away in just a moment. I tell you, the ground physics, it is, you will notice it. You will notice the change in ground physics. And for the better. I mean, it just really does feel like you are controlling something much more massive, has much more inertia. So that's definitely a good thing, but you won't get it perfect right off. You gotta get a feel for it. You're kind of, because we've been flying this plane for so long, we kind of knew how it handled. Yeah, this is different. Busy O'Hare Airport. Check out all that traffic. So we will be talking to ATC to get, well, not ATC, this is ground control. Talking to them to get our gate. And it's going to be Mike 12. You didn't see it because it's on the screen that's to the right. But I can't tell that, after the fact, I'm going to have to do a little work on the screen capturing. But this is much better than like when Fraps was doing it, because Fraps, that would drop your frame rates down just like, ugh. But this is good. I'm not complaining. This is a step above, regardless, step above what we were dealing with 4.5, and I'm not even hating on 4.5. That was just the shortcoming that really irked me. Coming into busy airports, large detailed airports on approach, and the frame rate dropped like a anvil through the floor. Alright, so we are actually not going to use GSX for our marshaller. We're going to use Ultimate Ground Crew, and that was me just choosing the gate, which I'm excited about because a lot of airports I land and that map is completely blank, and I need to look in the forums as to why, what's the rhyme or reason, because it's done the update of all the airports, so it should know where all the gates are from the AFCAD files, but I'm just glad that it worked so that you all would get a chance to see it. And so if you look over there, top of your screen, a little bit to the left, that's the international terminal. So that's where we are going, since we are coming in from Deutschland or Germany, depending on if you've taken German or not. But I really, after taking this inaugural flight, I can honestly say that I am glad that I purchased it. It was a painful few days getting scenery loaded, getting micro stutters taken care of and stuff. But once you've learned it, once you know what to do and what affects what, can't beat it. Alright, gotta get this APU on. What we got in here? We got Lufthansa, Lingus, if I say it correctly, from Ireland. I see A&A, Japan Airline. Not Japan Airline, but A&A coming from Japan. I think that's a JAL next to it, to the right. Can't really tell too well from here. British Airways, I see you over there. I mean, cool. Singapore Airlines, I see you there. Oh yeah, that's not JAL. Load those textures. There we go. I mean, this just really makes you feel like the immersion. You are in this bigger world where things are going on. Alright, we are almost at our gate, which is Mike 12. So, we'll bring it in and bring this wonderful flight from Germany to the United States to a close. Yeah, I think that's Air Malaysia, if I'm right. I forget. Then you got United, you got Emirates, and another British Airways. Alright, we're coming on our marshaller. I just saw a glimpse of him. I'm going to be taking a left real soon. There we go. Sorry for the freeze. And then there's that. Yeah, they could get rid of that. Happens when you start your approach, maybe a little after you've landed, depending. But you're guaranteed to get one of them before, on your approach. And if anyone's ever mitigated that or just never had the problem, I'd be curious to see what your settings are, why you wouldn't get it. Yeah, I gotta get a feel for how much thrust you really need to come in, stay slow, and turn. It feels different now. But then I was a little worried that my brakes overheated because I got on them when I realized that there was a plane crash down there. But it seems to be okay. If the brakes overheated, this thing wouldn't go anywhere. Alright, now I gotta raise up so I can see this little guy. Okay, I can't help but I'm losing sight of him, so I'll just move over here. Alright. Put on the parking brakes. Since the APU hasn't come on, I got a little fix for that. I'm going to go here. We're going to put on the chocks, which means we can connect the ground power, and then we'll... This is just a workaround. I would imagine they do not put the chocks in until the engines have cut off, but we're just trying to work it in simulation land. Alright, there we go. Got our ground power. And now we can cut off. Excellent. Now, trying to bring the gate, but I don't think that these are movable gates. Which is kind of strange because, you know, believe this is SODI enabled. I'll have to look into that. Alright, we're going to get them off this plane and we're going to get you all on your way. Trying to get that gate to move. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do it. Okay, we can live with it. We fought the good fight. I'm done. But we can disembark. Let's get our doors taken care of. Cargo doors, bulk cargo. I got an idea. Let the inner text have to disappear and keep the outer text, since no one's going to see inside anyway. Did I say textures? Just dawned on me what came out of my mouth. Well, alright. We seem to have had a good flight. I really want to tell you how much I appreciate everybody and the support of the channel, the wonderful comments, the requests, the comments, even when you have questions. If I'm able to help, I really enjoy doing that too. I'm going to be getting a lot of enjoyment out of this, and while you're sheltering in place, enjoy some flight simming. Thank you for tuning in, and I just want you to once again know that I look forward to seeing you in the virtual skies.